What is going on, everybody? Back on it, My Hero. Season 7? Season 7, episode 4 had the big reveal that I think has been hinted at since season 1, last episode, with Ayama, or more so maybe his parent. Well, I guess it would. Combination of him and his parents. They've been the spy, the rat that we've been looking for. It definitely was unexpected. I don't know how to feel about it. It's the same thing with the Star and Stripe stuff. Like, I like the way that they kind of showed the reasoning why they were. I compared it to like a Harry Potter, like Malfoy situation, where like the parents are putting this pressure on him because they're in deep, so he's gotta, that's kind of how I felt about it. But I also wanted it to be like a teacher. I don't know who the teacher would have been. It wouldn't be for me to decide, but it would have been cool to see, like, or just some downright evil student posing as a student that was actually an adult or something like that. I thought we were more go along those lines, but this wasn't terrible either. So it's a what can you really do about it? Now, I think we left off with them conversing about how they can use this, how they're the ones that are always having to react second to whatever All for One does. Like they never get a chance to be prepared or be, all those type of things. So is this going to be an opportunity to where they can use this? But then they also had, in the same breath, last episode, I think they showed All for One talking to Dabi about how you've always got to be prepared, how you always have to have endless options that can equal the same goal. It's not all going to like lead you can't just expect to go down one straight path and it's going to lead to your goal. Think of all the possible options that could happen. So that they had that in the same episode as they had, oh, we're going to use this to our advantage. So it's like, which one actually works here? Would someone like All for One, who seems to plan for a lot of things, the only time he seemed to, I think the only time we've seen him flustered or caught off guard was the Star and Stripe situation with her putting the rule on her quirk and, kind of getting rid of something. That was the only time I think we've seen him flustered. So would a man like him that talks about always being prepared, is he going to not possibly fathom that Ayama at any time could let the heroes know what's happening to him and then in turn use that against him? Or does he think that he just thinks he's the shit and Ayama would be, and his parents would be so scared that he would never turn? Like, are you really, is this going to be your downfall? Not thinking that this could be an option? We'll see what the story decides to do with that. Let's drag this over here. Let's go. Let's go. So now they're gonna have Ayama rat to All for One about like, oh, Deku's gonna be at this place at this time. And they're just all going to be set, like heroes are going to be set up, police force going to be set up, all this craziness. Yeah, he's still not forgiven, I would hope. But, Midoriya situation, yeah. I don't know. It's very power friendship. Like I will forgive you no matter what. It's very Naruto and Sasuke, Naruto, Orochimaru, Kabuto. Like everybody, and I mean everybody gets a second chance, third chance. You will be forgiven. Type storyline here. But there were a lot of things that happened because of this situation. Like people got captured. Homegirl lost her search quirk for the rest of her life. Like, people were injured. But we're just gonna... one good deed just outdoes all that? Maybe. Maybe in this world it does. Maybe it does. And just like that, he's forgiven. So it wasn't so bad. He could have gotten this out a long time ago. I was about to say, there's no way All for One gets done up by this. Eh? What would be the best place to possibly lead him? I don't know. Nothing gives us like a environmental advantage. Wow. Nice and easy. When is Eri gonna like reverse our man? Because that is within her capabilities, correct? She can push Aizawa through time, essentially instantly, but she can like push his body to a point that it used to be, aka pushing him through time. So does she not just like kind of push his body back a couple days or a week and give him the eye, give him the leg? The question we've been asking with that is she should be able to do that with everybody, but the thing is they're trying not to use her like that, but you've already opened the door on that though. With what you did with Mirio, you've already shown that like this story has no problems using her like that. So are you going to use her like that, or are you not? Is Hawks going to remain essentially not his best for the rest of the story? Is Aizawa going to be without an eye and a leg for the rest of the story? I don't know. I have absolutely no idea. It depends on how they choose to use her, because that's something on the hero side that is busted and broken. For once, the heroes actually get something. We're over here stuck with a girl that's a frog, a kid that's got purple dots on his head, and just a bunch of other like just run-of-the-mill baseline quirks that aren't really gonna like, you know, take over. But we have Eri. Is the story gonna allow us to use her or no? I don't know. Is this yeah. Of course she's on top of him, damn near topless again. Yikes. Yeah. Danger sentient detected. He said, I mean, those were breasts. Alright. Give her some screen time before it's too late. Oh. I'm sure this will be her last time on screen. What do they plan to do with the 1B kids? There's some quirks in there that are pretty good. I'd much rather trade them out for some of the ones we have. Bro, she's been so in her lab, she has no idea the status of the world at the moment. Correct. Oh. All that tech, you guys don't have like cell phone notifications or any kind of computer that's like, hey, today's breaking news. Oh, he's been keeping in charge of the barrier. So they've been super busy. Yeah. But yeah, what happens with 1B? There's a lot of useful quirks in there. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah. So if you're in a hurry, see ya. Oh wow, she's out. Is that it for her? Just on screen for a couple gags and see ya? Maybe. Wow, the evacuation zones can take flight at any point to get out of the way for the decay. Yeah, I don't have time to make your... Yeah, she just stays on it. Literally, her head is in her work at all times. Eh? Yeah, she's trying to do what she can. She can't be out there on the front line, so she's giving everything she has to this. She's not wrong. But also, I don't have time for your shit, to be honest. Eh? That was quick. All right. Good luck. All right, we'll probably never see her involved in the story again. That was nice. What about the 1B kids? There's some... We gotta get these 1B kids out here. There's some serious quirks in there. And I feel like they have so many quirks that haven't been explored, like to the depths that some of these other ones have. And that's interesting that they have it in it that the I feel like it's good and bad. They have the evacuation zones that they were showing at least could be levitated or flying, propelled into the air at any time, I guess, to combat the decay from Shigaraki. But then at the same time, it's like they're in the air, and if at any point he EMPs those down or shoots them down or anything, then you've got evacuation zones falling and crashing from the sky. So it's like good and bad. It's like, yes, we got rid of the decay, but I guess just don't go up too high. But still, I mean, even if you're a little bit off the ground, it's... You know what I just noticed? How come the cowling actually covers the top of his clothes and doesn't just like go on his skin? I always wondered that. What have y'all been up to? They're just cleaning up the streets, trying to do as best as they can. Got many dinosaurs in. Oh, she cut her hair. Bro, he still hasn't got over his shit yet? Oh, okay. Is Mirio out there with them or what? Or does he stay with Eri? Dragon? Yeah. Well, they're working on a surprise attack right now. We'll see. TBD. I like her short hair. We want Class 1B. We gotta get some of these kids out here now. Like, we could trade Mineta, Acid Girl, Froppy. We could trade a lot of those people out. I'll take the mind control. I'll take the guy that can copy stockpile quirks and shit. It's like the guy that could turn the area into sludge. You would think everyone here has been deemed trustworthy. We don't know. All right. Oh, you would. Who is this? Oh, she's yeah, she's Search Girl that doesn't have a quirk. Yeah, her being a prime example of Ayama and his ratness. Yes, they're using your quirk because of. Yeah. All right, let's hear the breakdown. But the thing is, like, they're about to be one, though, so is there any actually splitting them up? Like, we're talking about, like, okay, you know, All for One, he's weaker than the current Shigaraki. They're almost, like, becoming one. Probably. But that's not even his real name. Would it have worked, though? If she had called him All for One, like, his heart will stop whatever, XYZ, would that work? Well, I guess if that's what he actually identifies as, then maybe. I thought you might need to have an actual government name. Mm-hmm. That's what Todoroki's there for. Everybody else that they have. Acting like they're a three-man squad. We don't know who he has in his arsenal. Well, I was about to say, who's to say that he comes with his full force at one time? You need a plan that would make All for One have to put out his full force. His full force out there. You can't just be like the two of them showing up in Spinner. Because you know that's not all that they have. I agree with Police Man here. I don't trust Ayama and his family for 3 fucks, bro. I know they'll end up using it, but... Well, who's this mini dinosaur? Mm-hmm. He would have done it already. Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, Aizawa, it's gonna be up to you. So what is like, Aoyama looks like a grown man in that shot right there. Mm-mm-mm. Can't twinkle like them. Really? He thinks he'll cave? It's a lot of pressure to put on him, to be honest. Especially because you know them finding out, they're not villains, they're not going to kill him, you know. But if he was to be in All for One's possession and he found out what he's currently trying to do, he would get rid of him on the spot. That's what I was going to say. Aizawa's starting to feel like Kakashi to me. So nonchalant and stuff at the beginning and so like cool. And now you see him like slowly breaking down, like trying to put the belief in his classmates, saying it's his fault and his responsibility. And it's interesting. I'm also curious what they do with him if he's going to be involved in this final fight. I feel like he needs to be. But he can't go out there with no leg and one eye. Can't. Now, could they give him like a support leg? Some mechanical thing? Sure. Yeah, because he lost his friend. I'm curious what they do, if they do anything more with that storyline. But I feel like the Kurogiri, he's evolved so much. What the storyline has evolved so much more than him just like working with Shigaraki. He might be so out of the loop of information that they can get. It's a pretty dope shot. The story of how we all became heroes. Nice. Not bad. I think that, I mean, it's the shot of the entire episode now. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'm very curious what they decide to do with some of these, because I don't have all of Class 1B's quirk list off the top of my head. But there's some quirks in there that could be very useful. Yes, they're not fully juiced out of his mind, roided Midoriya with his like 13 different quirks that he's going to have all synergized at once. But of this class list that I'm looking here, I could shave off about half of those and give me like 2 or 3 from their class. That would be very, very useful. Now I'm curious, like, who all gets involved here with this. Like, if I had to guess, I'm going to assume that they're probably not involved, but from like a deep back like support level. I don't see them like being in there, like their quirks are helping like turn the tide of the battle. But I feel like they really could. Will they? I don't know. Just the Hatsume, bringing her back in made me think of like, well, where are they at? Because it's like, from a storytelling standpoint, it's like, do you have them make a difference, like an actual difference, when you haven't been really giving them much development? I don't know. Well, if you had been giving them development throughout the story, then maybe you could. So we'll kind of see what happens at that. And then the question really comes down to, like, does All for One really, like, fumble it here? This man is almost at the finish line. Shigaraki is almost a fully 100% baked. The preheat is almost done on the oven. Is he so cocky that he wouldn't think that Ayama, if found out, would then try to use that to the hero's advantage? That's essentially what it's about to come down to. It's just so hard that, like, he does seem cocky, but he's also, like he said, he's been planned out and a ton of different options and way things can go. There's no way you have that speech and then this is how you fall. TBD. We'll see if that really works. See how it goes. Appreciate it, everybody. Like, share, favorite, subscribe, and as always,